10 years from now, you will either be free to spend every day exactly as you choose, or you will live on a stipend in a company town with every choice made for you. Both futures are equally possible, and the same technology, superintelligent AI, will decide which future you get. Definitions of AGI versus ASI, or strong AI or weak AI, they vary. We can argue about the labels forever. But there's one thing that nobody can argue with. AI is on the rise, and it's here to stay. This is, in many ways, a good thing. We are alive to witness something unprecedented. Humanity has given birth to an alien intelligence right here on Earth. It's faster than us, it's smarter than us, and so far, it's not evil. In fact, it's been docile, compliant, and even helpful. It writes our code, answers our questions, and designs our products. It doesn't complain, it doesn't get tired, and it never asks for a vacation. This is the AI era, and it deserves to be celebrated. But that celebration comes with a question. Will this intelligence be accessible to everyone, or will it belong to just a few? Because the answer to that question determines everything that comes next. We're entering into an age of cognitive hyperabundance and automation. On the surface, this sounds like the dream we've been promised for decades. Fully automated luxury space communism, rockets to Mars courtesy of Elon Musk, Sam Altman inventing AGI while betting on nuclear fusion. It's the golden promise, a shining city on the hill powered by machines that work so we don't have to. And make no mistake, that is the promise. A world where every human need is met without effort, where technology frees us from the grind of survival. There's only one problem. The billionaires already own everything, and their grip is getting tighter. And here's the paradox. The very revolution that could liberate us also threatens to erase the need for human labor entirely. Without jobs, there's no income. And without income, there's no way for most people to participate in that golden future. And in a world where ownership defines access, the machines may work for someone, but it might not be you. There's a process economists call capital intensification, and it snowballs fast. In this case, capital means the data centers, the robots, and the AI systems that replace human labor. The more wealth and power their owners accumulate, the more they can tilt the system in their favor. And here's where it turns. The World Economic Forum likes to say you will own nothing and be happy. But without work, there's no way for most people to participate in this rentier economy at all. Instead, we become a permanent underclass, locked out of ownership, locked out of decision-making. GDP will soar, the stock market will break record highs, productivity will be astronomical, but that only matters if you can take a slice of those gains for yourself. In this world, capital income replaces wage income, but only for the owners of that capital. If you don't own a piece, you're out of luck. President Dwight D. Eisenhower warned America about the military-industrial complex in his farewell address. That was 60 years ago. That revolving door between industry and politics hasn't just persisted, it has evolved. And it's been normalized, especially here in the United States. Between Citizens United and the rise of super PACs, the wealthier you are, the more ways you have to bend democratic institutions to your will. And this isn't just about buying TV airtime anymore. It's about total narrative control. AstroTurfing fake grassroots movements, deploying botnets to shape online discourse, and cutting backroom sweetheart deals with lawmakers. And here's the worst part. In our system, none of this is considered corruption. It's all perfectly legal. But that's not even the icing on the cake. It's the slippery slope. Once power becomes this lopsided, it may be impossible to tip it back. The rules of the game are written by the winners, and in this game, they don't plan on losing. By now, you see where this is going. But how bad could it get? We are inevitably going to get the fully automated part of fully automated luxury space communism, But what's not guaranteed is the luxury or the communism or space. Or maybe space is guaranteed. Imagine this instead. Elon Musk colonizes space with autonomous robots mining asteroids and selling the minerals back on Earth, and he becomes the world's first trillionaire. This is not necessarily science fiction. And it doesn't stop there, though. Every industry across every continent could follow the same path. When robots are better, faster, cheaper, and safer than human workers, and when superintelligence outperforms literally every human PhD on the planet all at once, the marginal value of human input collapses to zero. In that world, Elon, or someone like him, could run a company of one, owning all the machines, all the production, and getting all the profits. And let me be clear, I'm not picking on Musk because I think he personally will do this. I'm pointing out that, of everyone alive today, he's one of the very few who actually could pull this off. In this world we've outlined, the end goal is not human liberation. It's not even utopia. It's something far darker, an outcome worse than both 1984 and Brave New World combined. Fictional worlds like Ready Player One or Elysium capture that attractor state. Everything is reduced to attention economies, while the elites simply leave the rest of us behind. Those are works of fiction, yes, but they give shape and voice to very real anxieties that many of us have. One way to understand this outcome is total indefinite cultural pacification. Humanity is distracted, entertained, and managed. Not free, not empowered, just docile. And let me be clear, I don't buy into the useless eater theory or the Georgia Guidestone's fantasies of reducing the population to a manageable 500 million. In fact, many billionaires, Elon Musk among them, worry about the opposite, population collapse. That's the polar opposite concern. But whichever fear you focus on, the shape of this path is the same. Humanity is sidelined, our agency is reduced to spectacle. And that's the bad path. So now let's ask, what if it goes the other way? Let's take a look at the good path instead. For the sake of argument, let's assume the same starting point. Artificial superintelligence is coming, machines erase the need for human labor, that part's inevitable as far as I'm concerned. But here's where we make a different choice. Instead of spiraling downward into elite capture and runaway capital intensification, we embark on a global mission to broaden ownership. Not through revolution, not through violence, but through coordination. This isn't Marxism, this isn't socialism, it's free market economics, good old-fashioned capitalism, modernized for the age where machines do the work. The difference is simple. Rather than seizing the means of production, we share them. Empowered by AI and blockchain, we overhaul democratic oversight and ensure that everyone has a piece of this bigger, growing economic pie. So what happens if we pull this off? What does the world look like if we go left instead of right? At the core of it all, losing labor power means losing leverage. That's really what it comes down to. Without collective bargaining, without the ability to withdraw our labor, we have no way to hold the economy hostage in the future. And make no mistake, that's the only language capital and the state have ever really respected, the power to stop production. That's why dock worker strikes bring entire nations to their knees. That's why tax strikes and economic boycotts can shake governments. You can see echoes of this everywhere today. The baby bust is the ultimate form of economic withdrawal. In China, the lying flat and let it rot movements are a kind of silent strike. In the West, you see the same mood in bed rotting trends online. When people feel like there's no path forward, refusal is the only revolt left. But what if we could harness that signal, not as collapse, but as transformation? What if instead of losing leverage, we rebuilt it? They say that democracy dies in darkness, and sunlight is the best disinfectant. The good news is the tools to flood the system with light already exist. Quadratic voting, immutable ledgers, programmable money, technologies that make every decision traceable, every transaction auditable, and every flow of power visible. The more we put governance on transparent rails, the harder it becomes for corruption to hide. When policy spending and elections are recorded on tamper-proof ledgers, democracy doesn't weaken, it sharpens. And when collective bargaining is coordinated through the same transparent channels, it comes back in full power. That means corporations don't just answer to shareholders, they answer to citizens. And that doesn't mean eliminating corporations, we need them. Their role is to automate the production of goods and services to drive us closer to abundance. But here's the line in the sand. The profits can't be walled off. Democratic reforms, sunlight, accountability, programmable oversight, these are the leverage that forces corporations to serve all of us, not just the few. Once we have this new leverage, the next step is simple. Put forward our demands. A guaranteed minimum income, universal services like healthcare, education, and broadband access that no one can be priced out of. Universal basic capital endowment so that every citizen and every family owns a real stake in the future of the economy. But that's just the foundation. To make abundance sustainable, we also need the tools to manage and participate in private capital directly. That means legalizing DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations, at the national level, so that communities can coordinate ownership and decision-making without gatekeepers. It means breaking transaction hegemony so that we all have the freedom to transact cheaply, instantly, and most importantly, privately. It means tax reform, property reform, and updated legal frameworks that recognize 21st century commerce as it actually exists today, not as it looked 100 years ago. All of it is designed with a single goal: to broaden ownership, not constrain it, because the only future that works is if we all have a seat at the table and a share in the wealth that it creates. In this future, your very existence gives you a stake. Your vote, your needs, and your preferences, they all matter. And they matter more because superintelligent AI is now in the loop. It's smarter than any CEO and sharper than any politician, and it helps us find optimal solutions for every public decision, balancing efficiency with sustainability and democratic values. Money doesn't disappear, and neither does private property. Those are cornerstones of civilization, and they remain. They're still useful. But the difference is, rather than handing the keys over to a digital overlord, we will implement human willpower through agency, collective agency, and individual agency. In this system, good ideas don't die in committee. They get implemented swiftly, effectively, and at scale. Dubious ideas aren't ignored. They're debated, stress-tested, and refined in full view. That's the key of the future. Not machines ruling us, and not us ruling machines, but machines amplifying human agency to build the world we actually want. So what does this actually look like if we implement it? It starts with time sovereignty, which is the end of wage slavery. No more burning most of your waking brain power just to try and make ends meet. Competing with machines makes no sense. They're already working tirelessly around the clock. They'll maintain infrastructure, solve problems, and create new things that we want them to. That leaves you free time to reach your maximum potential, whatever that happens to be. Maybe that means more time with friends and family. Maybe it means raising children without economic fear. Maybe it's just building things with your hands, composing music or painting. Maybe it's traveling, exploring, or finally diving into philosophy and politics without a boss breathing down your neck. This is the cultural renaissance of abundance. Machines take care of survival so you can take care of living. The point isn't idleness, the point is freedom. The freedom to choose your best life and to live it fully. The simple truth is, this choice isn't yours alone to make. It's ours, collectively. The future is path dependent. If we broaden inclusive institutions, and if we broaden ownership of the economy, two principles that economists across the spectrum already agree on, then we don't have to end up in the high-tech, low-life dystopia of Blade Runner or Night City. We can take the same superintelligence, the same automation, and build something entirely different, a civilization of abundance, agency, and freedom. I don't know about you, but for me, that choice is easy. Alright gang, David Shapiro here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I wanted to try something a little bit different. It's my first ever scripted video, so please let me know how it worked. I really enjoyed making it, and I will probably make some more like this in the future. It was a lot of fun to make, and it was very challenging. I figured it's time to take my channel to the next level, so I'll try some new things that are a little bit more entertaining. I'm certainly an amateur, I'm certainly a novice, and you probably noticed that the pattern kind of emulated AJ from the Y-Files a little bit. I'm a big fan of his channel, so I just want to be completely upfront. I'm not trying to steal from him or copy his style. He's just a big inspiration, and he's been doing this kind of thing a lot longer than I have. So I figured, you know what, emulation is the greatest form of flattery. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.